What's up, friends? Welcome to day 4 of the MYT Reset Challenge. Just a refresher, we've been practicing what's called yin yoga that's really designed to help us reset the length of our tissues really to factory settings so we can be nice and flexible. And when you're flexible, it makes everything else easier. It makes us more mobile, more durable, and creates potential for greater stability and strength. Today we're going to keep it real simple. We're going to need 2 blocks or pillows, whatever you got. You might need them, you might not. And today we're going to go all in on opening up your hips, your inner thighs, groin area, as well as beginning to work into twists, opening up your spine and your back. And we're going to begin laying flat on your back today with your feet planted in a bridge position. Just planted the soles of your feet on the mat. And while you're here, your hips are going to rest heavily into the mat, and keep those hips where they are as you wiggle your rib cage up away from your hips for a moment so we can get to a little bit of length through your spine. Walking your feet closer together, joining the inner edges of your feet, and then taking a big in-breath. And as you exhale, releasing your knees away from each other, thighs opening up out to the sides. And see if you can bring the soles of your feet together here. Now, if you feel a lot of strain inside of your hips, what you're going to do is you're going to take your blocks or your pillows and you're going to place them underneath your thighs just to take a little bit of that strain off. We don't want you going to the point where it's painful, where it's going to cause any damage or anything along those lines, or even where it's going to cause you to really tense up and grip, because if you're tensing up in other places, this is not going to open up. We want to find that edge right before you hit that point, and that's where we want to hang out. And while we're here, we're going to take a big in-breath, like I said, joining the soles of your feet. As you exhale, trying to relax any unintentional tension. Even relaxing through your forehead and your jaw, your neck and shoulders. And you can rest your arms out to the sides, or hands back behind your head, or even just resting your hands over your thighs gently. And practicing our relaxed resilience here. Just letting our body breathe calmly, relaxed. Even in this discomfort, if you're feeling that length on the inner thighs, real close to your hip joint, that discomfort. Just noticing it, that's interesting, is our magic phrase. If your feet are sliding away from you, you always pull them back in. Remembering that the mental, emotional part of this practice, and just practicing being a witness. That's interesting. Really tighten this space. When I stretch this way, my breathing becomes shallow or labored or short or difficult. That's interesting. When I stretch this way, I feel energy in motion, emotion, and the compulsion to act by escaping the stretch or wiggling in it. And noticing those things, you can wait. You can become response able rather than reacting on a pre-programmed patterns, behaviors, self-preservation of your lower self, those old patterns that have made you who you are, that if you're here are no longer serving you. Noticing if your body's inviting you any deeper, if your range of motion is opening up, if this shape is changing in this reclined butterfly. Anywhere else that you're still trying to control, that you're still gripping in your chest, your shoulders. And when you're ready, bring your hands to the outsides of your thighs, using the strength of your arms to squeeze your legs back together, planting the soles of your feet. And before you move, remember this is about noticing, controlling our reactions, just resting here. Noticing the after effect of that stretch. And once you notice the after effect, the compulsions to move or to act or escape, then I invite you to take whatever movement your body's asking for. Maybe it's a side to side, dropping your knees, called a windshield wiper in yoga. Moving your block or pillow out of the way if you need to. And once you feel ready, we're going to take a little supine twist. This is really just a level 1 twist. So from this bridge position, we're going to lift your feet up off the mat, floating your knees right up above your hips, right over the hips. It doesn't have to come higher or anything like that. Squeeze your knees together for me and see if you can stretch your ankles away from each other. This is internal rotation in the hips. This is really challenging for a lot of people. And it's okay if it feels weird. I'm going to send your arms out to a T, grounding through your right shoulder blade. That just means it's on the ground, it's not lifting up. Taking a big inhale, and as you exhale, releasing your legs over to the left-hand side of the mat. Now, if you feel pain through your right shoulder, it means you're probably lifting your right shoulder off the mat. So that means that you're going to take one of these blocks and place it underneath your thighs on the other side so that you're supported. But if you're not feeling that, if you can twist further without your right shoulder coming up, then come all the way into this twist. Breathing into the right side of your rib cage. Again, really coming to your natural breath, because we're using this almost as a meditation to notice what comes up in my body, my mind, my energy, my spirit. And if you feel good here, you can even try to scoot your left hip backwards. If you do that, you'll be stacking your right hip over the left, deepening your twist a little bit. You can even rest your left hand over the top of your right thigh, not to force anything, just to give yourself a little bit of support. Feeling your breath in the right side of your rib cage. Twists are awesome because we can really practice that single lung breathing. Start to find more interesting things when we do that. Relaxing through your right shoulder, your chest. Like your bones are melting down into the earth here. Truly allowing yourself to surrender into this. And when you're ready, ground it through your right shoulder, using the strength of your torso as you inhale to unwind you back to center. And then planting your feet to the mat. You'll probably find that you've scooted off to the right-hand side of your space a little bit, so scoot back to the center of your mat. It's perfect. Just notice the after effect here. Before we take any extra movements today, we're going to take the other side. So, floating your feet up off the mat, knees over the hips, squeezing your knees together, stretching the ankles away from each other, and sending your left arm out to the T. Taking a big inhale, and as you exhale here, releasing your legs over to the right-hand side of the mat. Remember, that left shoulder's coming up, or you're feeling pain through the left side of your chest and shoulder. Not stretch, but pinpoint pain. That means that your left shoulder's coming ungrounded. For me, this side is really challenging, so I have to be a lot more mindful versus mindless with this side. I have to be a lot more patient. It's less flexible. My right hand can come over the top of your left thigh. And scooting that right hip back just a little bit if you're there, stacking your left hip over the top of the right. Just practicing your natural breath, noticing what's happening. What am I experiencing? It's entirely possible that you have random thoughts coming up, and they're probably related to something happening in this stretch. Noticing anywhere you're carrying tension. I just found some of my jaw and in the front of both my shoulders. See if you can soften into that. This isn't about relaxing, which relaxation is a connotation of doing something. Relaxation is active. This is about surrendering. Letting go of doing, of trying to accomplish a thing, and just letting yourself melt into it. Realizing that as you do that, you're holding on to so much more tension than you realized. And your magic phrase, that's interesting. And when you're ready, using the strength of the torso to gently unwind you back to center, landing your feet. Before you scoot back to the middle of the mat, just pause here. What do you notice? What's the after effect? What do you feel blood flow wise? Maybe some feeling of electricity, some nerve impulses, some warmth or coolness. Maybe your mind goes somewhere that's interesting. Even any emotions. And only now, if you feel inspired to move, taking any movement that your body's asking for. I'm going to take those windshield wipers again. I'm just going to take 2 on each side. Whew. Listen how each part of the body is, or each side of the body is totally different than the other. It's like we have 2 bodies. When you're ready, gently roll into your right hand side, little fetal position, tucking your knees in, and using your arms to help make your way up to a seated position. Because if we rush out of it, we can undo all of that release that we really worked for, that we surrendered for. Considering how you felt in today's postures, and really, if they felt useful for you, then implementing them throughout the day today. It doesn't just stop here. Your practice becomes throwing this in your workday as power breaks, doing it before you go to bed, and going beyond the 3 minutes, the 2 minutes that we do here. Go to 3 to 5. That's what's going to change your body over the long term. And that's it. Thanks for being here today. Drop in the comments, let me know what felt really good for you, what didn't, and if you have any questions, because then I can better serve you and help you. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye.